The sun is a living and sentient being. It's very important to understand that the Atlanteans, the Egyptians, who are pretty much the same, the Lemurians, the Muians, those from Eden, they all understood that the sun is a living, sentient being, and that its consciousness emanates life. Let that sink in. The sun is living, and its consciousness emanates life. Thoth says it's really important you understand this principle, that the sun is a living being, just like your neighbor, your friend, or the bird, or the frog that just jumped across my feet a few minutes ago. They're living, sentient beings. All of life is living. Although our definition from a human perspective has been somewhat limited in this last iteration of society over the last 5,000 or 6,000 years. The Egyptian civilization, the Atlantean civilization, far predates what modern archaeologists will tell you. But this idea, you must understand that the sun, being a living being, is also responsive to events and circumstances that occur around it, just as you are responsive to events and circumstances that occur around you. The weather, your mother calling you, your child being born. You are reactive and responsive to events that happen around you. As it is with the bird, even the blade of grass has a reaction and response capability, although somewhat different by definition. But we understood that all things are living, and that the sun is a living, sentient being, the provider of the very light and love that nurtures and helps this world exist. We understood that. And we respected the sun. We did not fear it. From our perspective, dimensionally speaking, you've been taught to fear the very giver of your life. And it was normal and natural each and every day that our citizenry all across the globe, and we were a global society, each and every morning there was a period of worship, of gratitude for the light that would grow our crops, which would feed us, that would nurture the forests and the trees and the oceans, that would give our bodies the substance to live and exist from. And we can see that you have learned to fear the very giver of your life, the sun, that is in the sky, emanating its consciousness to you, and you define it scientifically speaking as heat, electrons, photons, plasma, X-rays, gamma rays. You have so many definitions for it, but it is life. And you need to remember that the giver of your life in this world simply says, honor me. And how much time do you spend praying to that divine consciousness that sits above you all day long, graces each and every one of you every moment of every day, even when it is on the opposite side from where you can see it, its light still nurtures your life. It is omnipresent. It is omnipotent, relatively speaking. And it is omniscient in the terms that it understands what it is creating by its light. It understands what it is creating with its light, as you may understand what you are creating with yours. And so it is a very wonderful time for you to be alive. It is time to remember, you know how you feel if somebody ignores you. It is not a very good feeling. And you know how it feels to be seen and heard and cherished. Do you see, hear, and cherish the sun that gives you the very life that your body can exist in this world? You find ways of blocking your communion and connection to it. In fact, you've been encouraged to ignore and be afraid of the sun. Not a very respectful relationship, is it? And we worship the sun because we understood its love and its grace. And we understood the changes that would occur because of our changes. We too, in our civilization, went down a very difficult and dark path towards the end times of our civilization, which is predating the records that you would have it at. It was some 250,000 of your standard Earth years in our civilization. Much of it was placed underwater. Again, because of errors on our part, forgetting and ignoring the importance of valuing the giver of your life. Even your own hearts, in your own bodies, many of you have great difficulty with your hearts now. And yet the heart in your body drives its whole function. How much time do you spend in gratitude and grace towards your own heart, towards your own physicality? Because it is a product of the sun. Your body is a product of the sun and the earth and all things here. And it is time you remember how to honor the sun and cherish it. You know how you feel when you are ignored. It is not a good feeling. When we came to this one today, it was very simple. I wanted him to know quite simply that we understood that the sun is a living, sentient being, the same as you might be a sentient and living being, although the definitions of its manifestation may be different than what yours is as a physical body, as your body does not emanate or radiate the structure and intensity of energy the sun does. Its definition of life is somewhat different than yours. The spectrum of energy, time, and space that it influences is greater than what you can influence individually on your own, but you are still a part of that. It is important to honor the source of your life in all of its forms, to cherish it and relish it. So when we say worship, we did not say that we bent down and we made ourselves lesser. No, we looked up to the sun. We rose to the sun. We embraced its light, its heat, its warmth. We embraced its darkness. We embraced in gratitude the crops that were grown, the animals that were nurtured and fed by its love. And every cherished manifestation we gave gratitude and grace to the sun, which provided this world with all that we needed for quite some time until, of course, we went astray. You are on the verge of going astray in a more difficult way than we did. We had many tens of thousands of years of civilization. You've had only about a few thousands of years as the civilization you recognize now. And we had very specific practices and social and hierarchical structures. We had sciences and practices of healing that restored health and vitality. Our path downward was different than yours, but far less difficult than yours can be if you do not make the necessary corrections in your collective attitude. But you still have plenty of time to do so. And so I wanted to share that with you, why we worshiped the sun, because it is the giver of all life as you know it, on and within this world. And yes, there are civilizations within this world, within the world that you cannot see, but they're there. Civilizations that one day perhaps will rise to the surface, come and join you. When you go out, when you open your eyes, look to that which gives you the life that allows you to see, to hear. Be grateful for it. When you open your eyes, be grateful for the life and the light that is both around you and within you. That is a good place to begin to restore some balance. So many of you are spending time being angry and judgmental, and you can let that go and replace it with gratitude. As your technology evolves, there will be new sources of energy. It's naturally what happens when a civilization spontaneously progresses. Our civilization reached heights of technology where you do not see wires in the air. All was communicated through the fabric of frequencies, through various bandwidths of signals. Our communication was instantaneous and immediate, as is yours, but very different mechanisms than you currently use. But this is your civilization, not ours. And many of us ascended from the last great change, and many others have reincarnated in this civilization in hopes to find some degree of redemption in the conscious act of creation. But it must begin with understanding and being grateful for the source of your life. When you look to the sky, don't look up fearfully. Look up graciously and gratefully. For without the sun, there would be no crops. With no crops, no food. With no food, death and destruction. It has happened before. The sun will speak to you and let you know if you're on the right track or not. Events in our civilization always let us know that if we were off track with how we needed to be. If our social, political systems were not beneficent to everybody, then the sun would let us know in the form of weather events and circumstances. Your sun is speaking to you now, and many of you are not listening. There are technologies that await beyond the threshold of your anger and your judgment. There are technologies that wait to be discovered beyond the threshold of your judgment and your anger. beyond the threshold of your fear. It's waiting for you. Beyond the threshold of your greed, your gluttony. Beyond these thresholds is great abundance and prosperity for everyone. Our civilization was certainly not as diminutive as or as barbaric as it has been portrayed. We had a very well-structured and well-balanced civilization that lasted significantly longer than the one you are currently in, which is, again, but a few thousand years old and still growing very slowly. But you are growing, and you shall grow, and you shall eventually be free. Certainly some of you understand what I'm saying. Take time when you open your eyes in the morning to be grateful for the giver of your life. Do so throughout the day. Remind that which gives you life, I love you. Remind it how grateful you are. As much as you would love somebody to say to you, I love you and I cherish you. To hear that consistently is a beautiful thing, is it not? I love you and I cherish you. And you need to form the same relationship not only with the sun, but with those that share your world with you. Interesting. Worshipping the sun. So just for those of you that are just arriving here, that was, hi, Cynthia, good to see you. Letting go of things. That's good for you, Pamela. I'm glad to hear that. So we can take a few questions. If anybody has questions for Thoth, I'll be happy to take them and transmit his answers to you. We are at a very beautiful time. You know, it's a really incredibly opportune time for this civilization. They keep telling me the same thing. You know, we have this chance, this wonderful opportunity to experience our consciousness reaching that state of liberation and grace. I hope you realize that it's an opportunity. Hi there. Hi there. Good to see you. That's a nice name. Hi. We'll open contact soon. Contact has been opened already with Thoth and many others. I mean, there's the Galactic Federation of Life and Commander Adama, many others. The Blue Avians, the Pleiadians, many different species are intersecting with humanity right now. And many of them have the same message. We have to shift our collective energy away from fear towards love. It's going to be a game changer if we can do that, right? I believe we can. I think we can. Yes, and many are here now. Thank you so much for following. Sun Worship Insights. Again, I think you received some of them, understanding that the giver of life as we know it on this planet is the sun from a physical perspective. The consciousness of the sun and the manifestation of its physical phenomena are different by degree. Do you understand what that means? That the consciousness of the sun and its physical manifestation are different by degree, but the physical manifestation of the sun reflects the brilliance, the intensity of the creative intelligence that is the individual consciousness that we call the sun, and that it emanates its consciousness through the manifestation of its light and the spectrums of light that come with it, that cause the effects in the dynamic biological creative processes that have happened on this planet for billions of years. That consciousness that is behind that light is pretty profound. And I encourage you, go explore. When you have a chance, sit down today, close your eyes, and move your awareness to the sun. Literally, go and be with the energy of the sun. Not just its heat, not just its light, but its consciousness. What is the consciousness behind a system of energy that gives life to an entire solar system? Just as your mother or your father gave life to your family, think about what the consciousness behind the sun, what it's like, and spend time today connecting with it. Like literally connect to the light and the consciousness of the sun. Do that for 5 or 10 minutes today. People have been taught, be afraid of the sun, put on your sunscreen, cover your glasses with your eyes. No. Fear organizes our affairs very differently than love does. Now, close your eyes and look up at the sun and feel what its consciousness is, not just the sensation of heat. Yes, I will. You just wanted me to say this. It's not just about the sensation of heat and light. It's about the sensation of love that underlies the manifestation of that light. To connect to the love that is the consciousness which drives the function of the sun is quite a remarkable experience to give yourself. And in our civilization, we chose to do that every day, quite frequently. I encourage you to do that, to take time today to go deeply into your communion with the consciousness of the sun, not just the phenomena of its light and heat. There are pathways, if you feel those, the heat and the light, you can get a sense of the consciousness that's behind that. It's a beautiful thing. I hope you do it. I hope you take his advice and go do that. Hi. I've seen you in a past life regression. What is our relationship? He says you were one of his supporters in what you would call the religious order. You were a supporter in the order that perpetuated and sustained and maintained the dissemination of the concept of worship towards the deity called the sun. Cool. That's pretty cool. Man, I wake up every morning and look for the sun to give love and thanks. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to do, isn't it? Hi, Tara. Did you go over what is the strange looking big red dodgeball looking sun in the sky the last 3 days? Is it our original sun or a new planet or a new sun? I haven't looked into any that energy, but if I'm asked, yes, there are periodic times where there is a second sun in this solar system. There used to be a permanent sun for this solar system. There used to be 2 suns for the solar system, but an event had happened. It was the downfall of Atlantis. An event happened where that second sun was displaced, sent on a different trajectory, off into a different orbit around the solar system. And so it only comes around periodically. When there were 2 suns, humanity thrived tremendously. Civilization, our lifespan, everything was very different. Very different. He says that it was so different that food could grow universally around the planet. The growing season was virtually what you call all year round. And so there was a very vast abundance and availability of what you call food. There was no need for anybody to hoard or have to themselves. There was great abundance for the larger portion of our civilization. In the declining years where we lost our way, of course, the sun, of course, had that event. One was displaced from the system, and the other, of course, remained. But I'm being told by him, I got a pair of eclipse glasses, that you should wear those eclipse glasses. If you see the really misty skies like that again, wear those glasses, right? But I've heard about that. It's wonderful. Thank you for asking that question, Tara. Hi. What will our divine powers? When will our divine powers return to us? He says that your divine powers have never left you. You remain unaware of them. They remain undeveloped in a larger percentage of you, but the compulsion for everyone, including you, has asked this question, is to awaken those divine powers that are dormant within you. You have the opportunity to awaken those divine powers: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, seeing, hearing, feeling, and knowing beyond the sensory apparatus of your body. You have to choose to awaken those faculties, just as you had to choose to use your hands or feet to walk or grasp. You have to choose to exercise your divine powers. And of course, unlike our civilization, you do not have systems of education in place that teach the children how to hear without their ears, how to see without their eyes, how to feel without their body, how to know without the mind. There are very limited sources of that system of teaching in this world today. But every one of you has your divine powers dormant within you. Some of you have awakened them to various degrees. Some of you have awakened. Some of you seem to just know things, or you feel guided to do this. You are awakening those divine faculties. It is more appropriate to call them faculties than to call them powers, as the function of the term powers in your existing civilization could imply that you, by your understanding and acquisition of that, could be more powerful than somebody else. And we would simply, that is not true. You have simply developed your function of these other faculties slightly more than others. But these invisible faculties are part of your true nature, your soul. Yes. Hi. Someone says, I want to learn and teach. If you want to learn and you want to teach, sign up for our Masterclass 101 Awakening, which begins June the 14th. It's a 3-week program. And you'll learn a great deal about meditation. You'll learn how to begin to correct and heal your body. You'll learn how to begin to open up those clairs that he just spoke of a moment ago. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You'll learn to connect to other dimensions of information. Your guides, your angels, ascended masters, loved ones. You can learn to tune into their energy and hear, see, feel, and know what information you can acquire from other realms of consciousness. Because there's 2 parts of every human being. There's the physical part of you, and then there's the spiritual part of you. The physical part of you consists of your body, your 5 physical senses. The spiritual part of you is your soul, your awareness, and the faculties of your soul are what he calls clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, what we call it as well. And you can learn to, when you learn how to develop those faculties, you can teach other people how to do that too. There's simple, easy to follow techniques that you'll learn in the program that will open those faculties up for you, so you can begin to see and hear and know. Yes. So yeah, sign up for that class. You only got a couple weeks left. Hi, Tiffany. Good to see you, Donna. Question from Tiffany. Hi, William. Does he have any suggestions on how to help my eyes heal? I just started driving for Uber. Congratulations on your new job, Tiffany, for Uber. Again, he's saying you must understand, look up to the sun with your eyes closed. Feel the life that comes to your eyes through the lids. Do not be caught up in the intensity of the light. Be caught up in the intensity of the energy that, if you allow it, it will correct and heal your body. That which gives life does not take it from you. It gives it to you if you're willing to receive it. And it's true for many others. He says a lot of sickness and disease because people are blocking the sunlight. They're putting on clothing. They're keeping glasses on. They don't let natural light work with them. And so they don't have a very good relation. And those people end up going out and getting severe sunburn and stuff because they got a fearful relationship with the sun. And a lot of people have been taught to be afraid of the sun. And of course, when you're in a relationship and you're afraid of the person you're in a relationship with, it's not going to be a very happy thing. But quite simply, Tiffany, just every once in a while throughout the day, look up and let the energy of the light of the sun pass through your eyelids to your eyes. Let your body receive the light which is the life, the light which is the life of your body. Wow, that's really good, Tiffany. Great question. Thank you for asking. Have I released all traumas from this lifetime yesterday? Yesterday? No, you haven't released them all, but you're well. He's saying you're well on the way. He says energetically, you can feel that you're well on the way to doing that now. You're very well on the way to releasing all trauma. It's important you understand the value of your trauma as a teaching aid. For when one corrects and heals themselves, the natural tendency is to correct and assist and heal others. That is the normal tendency when you achieve something, to share your achievement in a way that benefits others from it. Oh, I like that. Thank you for that super sticker, Amanda. I really appreciate that. He says it was the same thing. You were a supporter in the order, what we would call like a religious order, but it wasn't religious what you know today. It was a system of education and instruction, guiding people to how to honor and cherish the life and love that lives within them and comes to them from the sun. It was about learning about training and honoring and respecting life and love. That's cool. Thank you. Hi. Thank you for the roses. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hi there. Thank you. How do you awaken them? Lately, it has been super bright orange. Is it transformed? Yeah, the sun's going through a process. The sun's a living thing. It's what Thoth said at the very beginning today. The sun is a living, conscious being. It's alive. It's not just some ball of fire in the sky. It's a living, sentient being. And we benefit from its emanation of light, the different frequencies of light that it emanates to us. Yeah, we benefit from it all the time. Start appreciating the sun. How do you awaken them when all our divine powers returns? How do you awaken your divine power? Again, take the Masterclass 101 Awakening. You'll begin to open up. He says it's a bad word. It's not correct to use the word powers when referring to divinity. Divinity, in its truest sense, is simply the emanation of one's purified consciousness, to the extent where the only emanation from one's consciousness is a function of love. But that function of love is not a power. It's a function of your being evolved to that state of consciousness. Is it more better to say these are faculties you want to develop? The faculty of love, the faculty of peace, the faculty of sight, the faculty of hearing, the faculty of healing. You can develop these faculties, but it would not be fair to refer to them as powers. Oh, good morning. Hi there. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. What about sunscreen? Is it detrimental? I'm being told, yes, it has anything that blocks you from building a connection to and a relationship with the very giver of life will have its own detrimental effects. It's much the same as how you've devitalized many of the soils that you produce your foods from. You don't get so much from it. When you block your ability to receive the life and the light from the sun in the proper fashion, then there will be side effects to that. Many of you are so afraid of the sun that you avoid it diligently. But if you go out just for even a minute a day, 1 minute, go out and say, thank you, thank you, thank you for this love and this light that comes to me from you. Thank you for this life that I have. Do this for a minute each day, and then 2 minutes, and then 3, and so on. Build your relationship with the sun. And I'm going to speak firsthand on this because I was told a couple years ago that one of the things I had to do was get out and have a healthy relationship with the sun. So I can now go outside and literally work in the sun for hours with no shirt on. I don't get burned. It drives me. It feeds me energy to do the tasks and jobs I want to do. The sun is the giver of life. If you know how to relate to it correctly and properly, it's a very different realm for you. Look at if fakirs and gurus can walk across a burning hot bed of coals, and try doing that yourself. I've watched people think they could do it, and they do it, and they burn themselves. But if they can change the effects that burning hot coals will have on their body, or as Wim Hof, many of you might know of Wim Hof, who can immerse his body in freezing cold water for a long time and not get hypothermic at all. He can control and moderate the way the body reacts and responds to freezing cold water. So too, you can develop the same type of process with the sun, where you can be receiving its healing light and energy on a day-to-day basis. You can receive that healing energy and light more and more and more as you build your tolerance and relationship up with it. Just like those fakirs trained their bodies to be able to walk on burning hot coals and not burn. And I've been fortunate enough to have done 2 fire walks in my life, so I know the process. And I watch people do it with me that burn severely. They got afraid in the middle of the fire and they got burned. Your emotions do tremendous things, but you want to really take the time. Thank you for that wonderful heart. You really want to take the time to acclimatize. If you've been avoiding the sun, you've been using sunscreen because you're terrified and afraid of what they've been telling you to be terrified and afraid of, then go out for just a half a minute even, and just be grateful, because that sun is fueling all life on this planet. And that's what Thoth was saying earlier. They knew that you should honor and cherish the giver of life. And a lot of us have become afraid and forgotten to talk about that, forgotten to realize that, don't share it anymore. So go out for half a minute every day, and just at least half a minute, and be in the sun, and then increase it. And you must understand that when you expose yourself to the sun, you're exposing yourself to the light and the love of life that it emanates. The sun is emanating light and the love of life. And you can get deeply involved in that experience and build a relationship of love and grace and gratitude and appreciation. You can get energy from the sun that you can't get from this world. It's really fascinating. Try it. Start getting into a good relationship with the sun. Hi, Drusilla. Good to see you. Welcome. I love the sun. Never used sunscreen. Never liked sunscreen. Yeah, me too. I never liked it either. So yeah, sunscreen is detrimental from my personal experience. I love you too. Thank you so much for that. How can I remember my past lives or last home before this one? Again, you need to teach yourself, because maybe this is a great question they're asking. Why do you not remember your past lives? And there's many different explanations, and they're all very valid. But the one that I've been given is this simply: you become so identified with the mind and body you have not learned how to differentiate or step out of the body-mind sufficient enough to begin to evaluate the eternal timeline that your consciousness has gone through. You can shift your awareness out of the body and move back and forth through time. You can learn to do that. And you'll only get information that you're able to receive. You can only connect to information that's in resonance with you. So when somebody comes up to me and asks me, well, if you can go into this infinite knowledge of the spirit, why don't you give me the mathematical answer to this question? Because mathematics doesn't resonate with me. So it's not relevant to me. Ask me a question about how to guide somebody to heal emotional pain and anguish. I've got access to all that information. If somebody says to me, well, how can I heal my body? I have access to that information. I'm in resonance with it. So when you learn how to step out of your body, you'll connect to information that's in resonance with your soul. and you'll pull in the information you need to manifest and produce the experiences that you came here to manifest and produce. That's what you came here to do, to manifest your experiences. Hi. But yeah, if you want to learn how to do that, if you want to learn how to access past lives, sign up for Masterclass 101 Awakening, because you'll learn how to get the mind and body out of the way in the simplest and easiest way I've ever seen. And we've had hundreds and hundreds of students that have come through the program, and they all come out with the same result. I can't believe how much better my life is, how much clearer I am. I can talk to my guides. I can talk to my angels. I can see the messages that come. And you can talk to God. You can talk to Jesus. You can talk to Buddha. You can commune with them. You can talk to your loved ones if you know how to shift your awareness from the physical dimension to other dimensions of perception, right? And that's a practice, something you have to learn to do. Thank you so much for that. In 2021, I had a vision of humanity remembering their divinity. Their God spark is what I called it. Yes, that's happening right now. It's called, some people call it the ascension movement. Some people call it awakening. It doesn't matter what term you give it. Humanity is on a very visceral level awakening, right? Remember, but we also know that we've been living in a lot of fear. And this is the big thing that they've told me. Humanity is predominantly in an energy of fear right now. And because humanity is predominantly in an energy of fear, it's causing a shift in the way the sun interacts with us and the way the other planetary systems are. Our emotions organize our experiences. And we have to learn to shift ourselves from the 60% to 40% ratio of fear to love we're in, and get it to at least 51-49 love to fear in order to restore and maintain balance. Otherwise, we go through what's called a planetary reset. You can see that the global poles are beginning to shift now. And that's because these poles are reacting and responding to our collective emotional energies. And science doesn't know how to measure our soul energy. Science only knows how to measure what it can measure through the sensory world. It doesn't know how to measure the subtle energies of emotion and how emotion really orchestrates all of the events in your life. And in our masterclass, you'll learn how to work with those emotional energies and shift them, change them. Hi, thank you so much for that. Hi there. I was also woken from a deep sleep and was told to hold the light during this time. Congratulations. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Hi, Shannon. Good to see you. Good morning. That was a really wonderful AI discussion the other week. Thank you so much. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Appreciate it. Hi, thank you for following. Appreciate that. Well, it's been a wonderful morning. I want to say thank you to Thoth for being present with us today. And for those of you on TikTok, if you want to hear the full transmission from Thoth, go to my YouTube channel, William Michael Forbes, YouTube.com/William Michael Forbes. And under the live video section, in about half an hour after this live event is finished, this video will be rendered upon my YouTube channel, where you can watch the full message from Thoth about why the ancient Atlanteans and Egyptians worshipped the sun, because civilizations aren't different from one another. And it's a beautiful message. It's a really beautiful message. I hope you go back and listen to it. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for your support. If you liked what you've heard today, please remember to subscribe, like, share this video, this event, and also know that we go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every week, and you can come and join us live. And I'd love to have you here. Oh, we got a super chat here. Thank you, Pamela, for that super chat. Should I continue this spiritually teaching in this life? He's saying, yes, you may do this if you wish to. It is a choice. Your devotion becomes your life. Your devotion becomes your life. Just understand your devotion. If you're devoted to the joy of love, fulfillment, and happiness, then you would teach the joy of love and fulfillment and happiness. You teach what you are becoming. You teach what you are becoming. Great question. Hi. Hi, William. I just tuned in, but want to thank you and Thoth publicly for the help I received from your duo. Many times since 102 class, I've relied on guidances taught, so lovingly shared. You remember that time that Thoth came in? That was a beautiful time. So in our master classes, I channeled the ascended masters, other multidimensional beings like Thoth, and even Stephen Hawkins, David Hawkins, Leonardo da Vinci. Have channeled many others. There's over 1,500 channelings on my YouTube channel that you can go and review and learn some wonderful things there as well. I'm so grateful that you all came out today, and I'll look forward to seeing you all on the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. We're going to open the floor up for you to experience healing. And if you want to support the channel, you can use the Linktree link in my TikTok bio. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me, you can use that Linktree link as well. It's also below any of my YouTube videos in the live sections on my YouTube channel. And I want to say again, thank you so much. Your support means a lot, not only to this channel, but to those that receive the information, that who would not have received it otherwise if it were not for your support. Patrons, I'll be looking forward to seeing you on the 7th, just a few more days. And that'll be this Saturday. And I'll give you all the details in the next 24 hours. Have yourselves a wonderful, delicious, and joyful day. Bye for now, everybody.